Okay, so you got the Chicago Cubs, and I'm here to convince you that they're going to win the World Series in 2015. Now, whether you believe me or not, well, who cares? But I'm here to try and convince you. They got a rich history. They got all kinds of fans all over the United States, and they can do it. And here's why. Well, they got this curse. They got this bad 100 years. They haven't been to the World Series in 50 years. They got the Bartman incident in 2003, and everything's just going terrible. And it's horrible. But now they have a new management. They brought in guys. Epstein, Hoyer, a new manager, and Dale Svim. And they're going to turn this all around. Now, you don't believe me? Well, they have this system, and they used it back in Boston whenever the Red Sox actually broke their curse. They use this foundation for future success. Theo Epstein was the creator of this. He has this system to where he loves prospects. He loves taking guys that are old, shipping them away for prospects that are really young and have potential, and trying to shape them into something that is successful and you can build around. Now, we got young guys in the system already. We got a few guys like Starlin Castro and Giovanni Soto and Brian LaHair and Anthony Rizzo. And all these guys are really young and they have a lot of potential. All we got to do is shape a few guys into this all-star potential and we're set. Now, as I said before, Epstein was around when the Red Sox won. The Cubs are imitating the success that the Red Sox had in Boston. They're taking all these guys like Epstein, Hoyer, and they're turning what the Red Sox success had into something that the Cubs can do into the future. Now, you may be saying, well, it's the Cubs. Well, they suck. They can't win a World Series. They haven't done so in 100 years. What makes you think that they can turn around? Well, you got to have your fundamentals. And this new management has all of this in their mindset already. They know that what it takes to have a championship contending team every year. And they're trying to build around this. You have to have your pitching. First and foremost, you have to have your pitching. The Phillies had it back whenever they were World Series champions. They had Roy Oswalt, Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay, Jamie Moyer, Joe Blanton. They had all these power pitchers that were really, really good. And they used them, and guess what happened? Well, they won a World Series. But they didn't just have pitching. They had power hitters. They had a power hitter in Ryan Howard. They had Chase Utley, one of the greatest first basemen. And back last year, talking about the Cardinals, they had Albert Pujols, and lo and behold, they won the World Series. Well, I mean, this just goes to show you that these things lead to a World Series championship. And on top of the pitching and the power hitters, you have to have a bullpen because sometimes your starting pitchers fail you. Then obviously not all starting pitchers can go 9 innings. So all of these teams also had strong bullpens. Really good closers to just end the ball game after the starting pitchers were done for the game. Now, let's talk about budget. The Cubs have a gigantic budget. They have one of the biggest budgets in the major leagues. And this is all because they have a huge fan base. No matter if they win or lose, the Cubs fans are truly dedicated. It doesn't matter how bad the Cubs are. You will always see a sold-out Wrigley Field, no matter if it's the beginning of the season or the end of the season where they're completely out of it. They just got fans everywhere. And they can use this gigantic budget too whenever they think that they have a good core of young players. They can go out and buy proven successful players. They can buy their services like Pujols or Fielder in the last year. They both went to different teams. Pujols is with the Angels, Fielder's with the Tigers because both of those teams are looking to contend and they believe that they can. Now, it's going to take some time. The Cubs aren't going to have all of these pieces of the puzzle set in stone from the first year. So this is why I'm saying 2015. It's going to be a little while before Epstein and company can get this show rolling, get the foundation built, build around these good guys. And the curse will finally break. Believe me, the curse will finally break. They did it in Boston. They can do it again. They're gonna do it again. Because because of all these factors, all of the foundation for future success. The NL Central is turning into a terrible, terrible division. The Pirates have always sucked. The Astros have always sucked. The Brewers just lost Prince Fielder. The Cardinals just lost Albert Pujols. The Reds, well, they're okay right now, but where are they going to be in 3 years? Who knows? The Cubs are getting ready for a big push. Now, we can get surprised. The Cubs may win before 2015, like the Marlins. In 2003, who knew about them? They were just some random team that just happened to make the playoffs because they were a wild card contender. And what happened? They took a bunch of nobodies and won a World Series. And most importantly, Back to the Future, if you've ever seen that movie, Back to the Future says that the Cubs win in 2015. Now that would be awesome if a movie created in the 80s actually predicted who wins the World Series in 2015. That would be amazing. Now, all you have to do is believe. All of these factors, this foundation for success, the fact that Epstein and Hoyer and Sfame were all around for all of the curse breaking and all this stuff that happened in Boston. It was super amazing. Now, granted, they turned a 90-win team into a World Series winning team. All you gotta do is believe.